All right, folks. It's just getting worse and worse down there. Well, anywhere really in North America. But unfortunately, whatever town you live in, it's just getting worse. The mental health out there, the mental health outbreak as a result of the pandemic and shoving drugs down people's throats and making it available to like drink in the parks and like let's just drink and let's just do more drugs so that we don't have to deal with our problems and we don't have to look at anything. People are dropping and dying, and now people are getting mental health to the extreme. This is the guy's an addict. Whoever this person was that was shot, he's at fault because he went down a road that he couldn't get out from. And there's no supports, no policies, nothing. There'll be a new video at the end of this video. Cash Heat will talk about it, the policies. But I'm just gonna run you through this video, and anyways, let's go through this together.
Tape that has just been submitted to Global News. Take a listen. Watch this.
Take a listen and watch this. So that guy there is just a citizen. Trying to calm the guy down. The guy's behind the counter. He's got, looks like a Gatorade bottle and a knife and something else in his hand. He's trying to get a pack of smokes. 8 by smokes. Got a bottle, got a knife. The other guy's videoing it. I'm going to video this because... There's the police. Here we come to save the day. They're going to tase the guy and put him down and calm him down. There's definitely tased him. You're not listening. You're not responding. I'll just 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8 shots. Now they're running. There's 2 people behind the counter. One's the suspect.
One of them told us that police had tasered the suspect initially, but he was still resisting, and that's
resisting last. He's laying on the ground.
Now, police confirming that the suspect was taken to hospital, but he has died. Now, according to witnesses, the suspect was apparently attempting to shoplift.
He was trying to steal, maybe cigarettes or something. So they just hold his hand that you can do that. Then he just got up his knife and trying to stab them. So then when he just...
He must have had the person that was behind the counter with him close to him, and the cop just thought to himself, protect the citizen. Let's go over to the other video. Okay, so here's a Big Dog reporting with Mr. Heed. Asking some good questions, but ultimately he's just giving them right back. A little bit long, but talks about the policies in relation to what's happened this morning. Let's listen.
Should folks in Vancouver be concerned about their safety when you've got 2 incidents kind of back to back?
Like 25 that we know about.
Well, these incidents occur in a very frequent fashion in particular areas in Vancouver. In the area where this incident took place, there's been murders that take place there. There's been a person that had their hand cut off, all by people that are suffering from some type of psychotic episode, whether it's related to their acute drug addiction or some type of severe mental health issue.
Severe mental health issue as a result of not having the right supports to get sober. We live in Canada. We can't really just grab these people and throw them in the hospitals. You know, they have to go wantingly and willingly. The trick is to go to these SROs and these places and actually talk to them, communicate with them, get them to agree to get off the streets. Look at my video I did with the guy in Prince George that spoke about what do they need to do. They need to build a treatment center, and then they need workers like me to go down there and talk to the people to convince them that they need to change their life, and they can. But if they go to treatment, they're going to be locked up for a good 6 months, and there's no leaving. But I think that's the best option, but let's listen to what he talks about our policies.
To schizophrenia. So there are areas of Vancouver that we have to be very cognizant of. This is an area that is frequented by many people in their daily activities, whether they're going out for dinner, going out for breakfast, going out for a walk, or going to work. This is an urban center. And it's
Downtown Vancouver.
It's not a down and out area similar to the downtown east side, which should make no difference. However, we need to be cognizant of the areas we're in because these people are.
We should be cognizant of the areas we're in. As soon as you close your front door, last week, I live in a nice place in a nice neighborhood, and 2 blocks away from my house last Thursday night, cops, paramedics, lady overdosed. She was, the ambulance actually came and got her and brought her. It was absolutely awesome to watch. But when she lost it on me, she lost it on the lady that was trying to help her. You got to be focused all the time, everywhere around you.
Occupying these public spaces in a violent fashion.
So are police dealing with an uphill battle right now when it comes to this? And I want to be clear for the audience, we don't know the specifics in terms.
Are they in an uphill battle? The police have tasers. They have batons, and they've got a lot of them if they need to get them. Was this over? This was, I don't want to say the over K word, but that one guy dropped 8 bullets in this dude, bro. Like, you just don't. Anyways.
Of this individual suspect and whether or not they faced, addiction issues, mental health issues. There's more information that needs to come out. But in general, right now, do you think police have kind of the deck stacked against them when it comes to policing this downtown?
Police's job!
Well, they do, and simply throwing more resources from the police at it is not the solution to this particular problem. And I can tell you, in all likelihood, what I described here of what takes place at the street level crime, whether it's someone related to, as I mentioned, drugs or mental health.
This is street level crime. This is mental health. The dude needed to get some alcohol. He wants to get drunk, needs some smokes, and he figured the government's not doing anything. There's no bottom anymore. I'm just going to keep going down.
In all likelihood, this is probably what happened, because what normal person would go into a restaurant at 11:30, steal alcohol, steal a knife, and go across and try and steal cigarettes and threaten to kill people? So in all
a homeless drug addict that's in severe withdrawal and stressed out, and he doesn't want to live anymore. So I don't know, lots of reasons. There's a lot of bad reasons that a person's going to do things that they do while they're down there. But the reality is they're down there and they're not getting out of there unless something bad happens, and maybe they'll get a chance to get better.
Let's let it be known that this is a individual that most likely frequents these public spaces, and he's one of many that are out there causing havoc on our streets.
So what is the message that government needs to take away from this in terms of those additional resources and trying to battle some of the underlying causes for this, the socio...
I don't understand. Do these journalists actually pay attention to what's going on? Or are they just prolific in asking the resilient questions? Is that their job, is just to ask the questions? I don't understand. Ask these questions that just get their talking points.
Economic causes for what
economic
we are seeing.
Causes.
Well, whether it's socioeconomic.
A dude just got shot because some dude that had mental health going to stab someone so he can get a smoke. Just 8 times still. Come on.
Whether it's related to some type of health issues. Government is very well versed on what has taken place on our streets. They're not as well attuned to what the solutions are to this particular problem. And all they have to do is look around and look at the advantageous that other societies, other cities have used in trying to have secure care for these.
We're in the Western world, guys. There's no care unless your family has big pockets and they're willing to get some professional in there to, remove people and put them into the psych unit and pray to God that they can go from there to a treatment place so that they can possibly get some help. That's the only answer right now, because they aren't going to help they're not going to like take people, they're not going to like involuntary care, they call it. They're trying to pass laws or something right now.
People, they need to be removed from public spaces. They need to be in treatment centers. They need to be held in a humane way, not an inhumane way of living on the streets and trying to survive on the streets, especially as we enter a time of the season where it's very cold out there.
It's very cold? It's Christmas. Everyone wants to be with family. Well, wait a second. Was it 3 years ago we weren't even allowed to go see my 86-year-old mother?
So let's be very, very upfront here. There's a lot of talk coming from policymakers and government officials. There's very little action, so the community doesn't really feel safe because of their inaction, which leaves these people out on the streets. And
there's lots of action. You wait till tomorrow when I post that video about. Just check it out in the next couple of days.
Causes vulnerability to our public.
Let's talk a little bit about the specifics of this investigation and how it will.
They have people that are on the street, and then the people are on the street, and then they get resources to get into an SRO and to housing. But these SROs and housing just going to give people meth pipes and insight and more opportunities to stay in their addiction. Oh, but there are treatment centers if you got 40 grand.
Proceed. This independent third party now investigating this because there was
8 shots fired.
An officer drew his gun, or several, and there was a police-involved shooting here.
3 cops, 2 guns, one taser. That was the right one, the right taser.
Talk to me a little bit about once that mechanism.
Oh, wait a second. There was also like a big desk there in between. But I do know that the guy behind the counter was with the other person that was an innocent bystander. So maybe that's why they took.
Is enacted what the process is moving forward.
Well, the process, there's going to be 3 agencies that are involved in this at the outset.
And we can talk about the agencies all we want. We can talk about all the policies that need to be changed all we want. But until the policies are changed and they start helping these people, just expect more, folks. Sorry, but I'm done this tonight. So I thought I was done, but my whole take on all this is it is just, we've had a system in place for a long time where, Canadians, I remember working in this field, in mental health and addictions, I'm going to say 2 decades ago, where, I had a client that, they were going to kill himself. They're going to take him out. They're going to take themselves out. And, they had told everyone that they were going to, ultimately it took me and a couple of my employees to calm this person down, phone the right people. But the ambulance came and the policeman came, and the person, the client, was calmed down by then, and it wasn't that big anymore. That everything calmed down, and the ambulance unfortunately didn't take this person, and later on that person ended up ultimately taking their life, and I have no power or control over what people do, but ultimately, in the U.S., so for instance, our neighbors down south, there's so much talk about, U.S.-Canada relations right now, and blah, 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 blah. There's many states that you ask for help, you go away for 30 days. You go away for 30 days. Up here, you ask for help, and they give you a meth pipe. They'll give you a social worker. They'll give you an opportunity to talk about your feelings. but unfortunately, my feelings change on an hourly basis, depending on how things are going in the world. And today I've gone through about 5 different things, so my emotions went up and down, and my feelings followed. And I stopped and thought about what was going on, and that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Like, we need an opportunity to, like, the government, we need to change policy so we can actually, involuntary care. Yeah, it's a great situation for those that are extreme, but the people I talk to on the streets, the people I talk to on the SROs, they're worried that the police will remove people that may be not needing as much help as the others. So it's a real slippery slope. And how do you help? How do you get the right supports to the people that need them? The right supports meaning, workers that are professionally trained and also have some understanding and empathetic values and building blocks within themselves that enable them to put in process action to sustain people's ideas of how they can get out from underneath where they're at. Just last Friday, it was down on Main and Hastings, and I'm like, oh, it's clean. Oh, the last 2 weeks, the city's talking about, oh, we cleaned the streets. We took all the people's belongings that were tented out on the streets. They had nowhere to live. The SROs are full, the detoxes are full, the shelters are scary. Like, women don't want to go in the shelters because they get hard and bad stuff happens. And I kept walking. I'm like, well, it's certainly maybe there's not a lot of people down on the street. And I went by Insight's first time I actually went that far down to Insight, and there's people selling dope on either side of Insight. I got the video here. Let me find it. Yes, that was last Friday. So think people like he'd be selling this guy that I actually had a conversation with him after he did his little deal, and the guy that got his stuff went into Insight. The guy was just in a treatment center 3 weeks ago. He got kicked out because he snuck his girlfriend in. So that's what he said. He believe me if you want, believe anyone if you want. The reality is you can't really believe anyone, but the fact is that's what he said. Do I believe him? Yes. Do I believe that there's not enough supports? Yes. Do I believe our society is really in a mess? Yes. Do I believe government shift and things need to change? Yes. Do I look forward to that day? Yes. Do I want to stick around and watch it? I don't know, a sailboat in the Caribbean and being gone for a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 sounds better, but this is my home. This is where my family is. So I sure hope something changes. I hope, he comes back and gets into politics more again. I hope Apple does. I hope the right people that need to be in those positions of power create policy to help the people that need it, because otherwise we're just going to continue to see these stresses on police. Police don't need the stresses of this. They need to be helping other things, bigger things, but their resources are so spread out, and they're like dealing with like dudes with knives on the street. Anyways, God bless. I'm signing off tonight.